Hello, Leiden. I'm Camilla.
And I'm Angelica, and welcome back to Your Eagle Update.
The month of October is upon us, and Leiden is finding new ways of staying connected.
For Week 1, Student Services created a presentation on staying connected.
For Week 2, share how you're staying connected using Flipgrid.
And lastly, Week 3, stay connected with Student Services by joining a Google Meet on October 21st at 2:35 p.m.
And now, on to some news from your fellow journalism class.
Things for seniors have started to get very hectic very quickly. There's deadlines for applying to college coming up, also applying for financial aid, and so much more.
So I have started applying to colleges, and I would say the process has been hard because there's just so many things to take into consideration, from the essays to letters of recommendations to even figuring out which schools you want to apply to. So it's a lot to take in.
So there's a lot of ducks to get in a row. You know, if people need to fill out stuff on the Common App and need to ask counselors for recommendations, teachers for recommendations, if they need to put together, a student resume to remind the people who they're asking to write letters for, so they can see how sharp they are and make a letter about everything they've done. There's a lot to do.
So the first event was Tuesday, September 22nd. So there was a virtual meeting at 6:30 on Tuesday night called Planning and Paying for College. And that event kind of had outlined the college application process and also had representatives from the financial aid department at Triton to kind of do an overview of the financial aid process. So that meeting information and a recording of that is available on the Student Services website if you weren't able to attend. And then in October, we'll be sending out information about our Fafsa completion events. So this year, it's actually a requirement for graduation, new to the state of Illinois, that all seniors do one of three kind of things to meet the financial aid requirement. So you either have to complete your Fafsa or you have to complete an alternative application to the Fafsa, or you have to fill out a form saying that you choose not to do either of those. So the requirement is that you submit one of those three. So we'll have a lot of information sent out to senior students and families about that new requirement.
But things will be a bit different this year. Due to the pandemic, seniors will not be able to have the in-person interaction with other students about what colleges they want to go to, as well as in-person interactions with their counselors will not be able to happen.
I definitely think the process is harder this year now that we're online because it just doesn't have that same impact as if you were talking to someone in person.
I think the big thing that you guys are missing is all running in a herd. You're in the cafeteria, you're having lunch, and one person says, "Hey, I'm applying to, this school," and someone else says, "Oh, I'm going to do that too. Show me how to do it." To be able to rub shoulders with your friends and to kind of, go through it together. That I think is what's missing in the college application process right now.
We know things can get hectic, and you're probably thinking, what can I be doing during this difficult time as a senior? Well, thankfully today we have counselors to answer just that question for you.
I would check out Triton's website. I would check out the websites for other for four-year colleges that you're interested in. The College Board website, the Leiden website. There's some links there on some resources that seniors should be checking out. But I think the most important resource to look at right now is to sit down at the kitchen table with your family and talk about what are you guys comfortable with, in planning. The money situation may have changed. Who takes care of whom in the household may have changed. My advice is gather all the information that you can from whatever site and gather that information from home to see what looks like a feasible plan for you to do next year.
As some of you may know, you're able to reach out to your counselors, but what are some things that they're doing to reach out to you? Here are some ways counselors have been reaching out to students, especially seniors.
You can't walk down the hall to the secretary and have her schedule an appointment. You can't miss English or math class to do it. You know, it was easy. It was easy when people wanted to skip class and come down to see the counselor and all that. It was easy to make time and spend a half hour and, all. It's a little more difficult now, but email, absolutely email. And we are available for one-to-one appointments, most definitely. And I don't care if we do it face-to-face or if we do it on the phone or if we do it with email. Makes no difference to me, whatever students are comfortable with.
I have been, first we've sent out a survey to kind of see where our seniors at, as of August, September, what are you thinking for your plan? And then personally, I used that list and I set up 45-minute an hour appointments with every senior on my caseload to kind of individualize that and see where they were at. And our meeting kind of set up with like a shared doc where we could just outline the next 2 or 3 or 4 steps for that senior. And then once they complete those steps, I'll reach back out to them and, we'll come up with a list of the next steps.
We all know the application process and everything that has to do with college can get very scary and very complicated. But we do have some motivational words from Enlightened Eagle and our counselors.
There's so much to do, but putting in that little bit of effort every day will really add up and help ease any anxiety you might have about it, because the deadlines will be here before you know it.
Let what's going on, rather than gripe and complain about it, okay? Just take it for what it is, okay? And take whatever energy that you might be using to gripe and complain and use that to build an opportunity. Okay, lock your elbows with your friends, with your relatives, okay, and barge forward. Do what you got to do. Do not let anything else going on in the world be your excuse for not living the life that you want to live.
After returning to school where he once taught, Dr. Dominic Manola is now serving as East Leiden's new principal, but the times are different, and so a job that he has been looking forward to isn't bringing him the emotion that he expected it to.
Honestly, I'm sad. I'm sad that I can't be with you guys the way that we all want to be together. We're all sad that we can't do that. There's an energy that students and staff bring that's just not in the building when you're not here. And if you've ever been in a building in the summer, it's just kind of boring and quiet and weird. And what's really hard right now is it just feels like the summer in the building.
The problem of having no students in the building is bigger than it just feeling weird. Their absence complicates his primary goal as principal.
One, I want us all to be as connected as possible. So I believe, and there's a lot of research that backs this up, that students who are connected inside and outside of the classroom, they tend to just do better overall. They're better students, that they have better mental health, they're just happier overall. So the more we can connect students, I would say would be my biggest goal. And kind of along with that is creating new opportunities to do so.
Current and former East Leiden students recognize the importance of connectiveness, have grown used to having a principal who made that a priority, and wish Dr. Manola the best in continuing that trend.
Because connections are everything. Like Mr. Markey he built connections with all the students and knew them by their first names, so building those connections and having those connections with students is super essential to being a great principal.
I expect him to interact with students and try to get us back to school. If he interacts the same way as Mr. Markey, I'm sure he will.
To keep things together and to have a healthy environment.
Manola has already made steps and has previous experience. Luckily, despite the absence of students, Manola has been able to work through this difficult time.
I just met with our medical careers teacher, Ms. Dix and Ms. Yu, right before this meeting, and just hearing their energy and their passion about that program. Watching what you guys are doing in journalism, all the new classes that come up, the community connections that come up. When we talk about engaging opportunities for students, that's what we're talking about. And so my biggest goal is to make sure that we're listening and learning as much as we can, giving more and more opportunities to our students and our staff so that you guys can really pursue those things that you're really passionate about. Something I talk a lot about, and since you've been here as students for a little bit, you heard Mr. Markey talk often about find your passion, commit to excellence, be kind. And so something that I've kind of always really latched onto is a very simple concept that's very much similar to what Mr. Markey was all about, but this idea that involvement matters, kindness matters, and you matter. So be involved, be kind, and celebrate individuals. You all matter. And I always talk about, we have 1,800 kids here, 1,800 amazing, unique personalities, and that's what makes us who we are. So what I'm looking to accomplish is take all 1,800 students, 200 teachers, another 150 staff members, create opportunities to keep everyone engaged, to keep everyone growing, following that passion, and just doing the things that they love.
But somewhere between all these things he wants to do, Manola realizes that doing all that work needs students in the building, something that could be coming up as soon as November 2nd.
So what I'm most looking forward to is being able to walk in the hallway and say hello and see everyone, walk into a classroom and just check it out and see what's going on. Come to a play, come to a choir concert, come to a soccer game. That's what I'm most looking forward to. And I think that's what we're all missing the most, is just that sense of what makes us so great, how broad and vast we are. We're missing that right now.
Reporting for the Eagle Update, this is Angelia signing off.
Being away from their sports because of the pandemic has made athletes realize just how big of an impact each sport has made on their lives. From wrestling to football to cheerleading to soccer, all athletes have spoken out about how much they hope their sports will return back for their season.
I'm just excited we have a season because we all thought that we weren't going to have a season, and it's our senior year, so we want to go out with a bang, and it's just nice having a season, or having the idea that we will have a season.
What I've missed most, I'd say, is, the whole team together, being a family, and the competitiveness, and overall in the room, just practicing together. I'd say I'm very excited to get back together with my team. We haven't been together as a family for a while, and I think, we're all looking forward to it.
Administration also expressed their excitement for the return of sports, reminiscing the students' participation in sports in previous years.
It's always exciting to see students on campus and participating in those activities and following all of the safety protocols that are in place. So I would be really excited that we're able to continue that for the sports that are allowed to continue in the winter.
Hoping to return back to training and competing, all athletes and the athletic department expressed their understanding that it is the athlete's responsibility to stay safe outside of practice.
Athletes cannot have close contact with one another. So they would really be restricted just to strength and conditioning type activities and any kind of drills that didn't involve them having any contact with another athlete.
I'd say, just temperature checks, making sure that we're staying safe outside of the room. Got to give up some things like going for parties just to keep wrestling. I think it's worth it long term. My biggest concern about going back, I'd say, is, some people don't follow the overall guidelines for COVID, and we all take a toll as a team, which would be pretty bad, I'd say.
I don't really do anything other than go to work, but I always have my mask on and stuff, so I always wash my hands and stuff, so I just make sure I try to stay safe so they can stay safe and we can actually play, because I know one person getting sick is going to ruin the season for us, so we're just all trying to take every precaution possible.
Aside from daily training and competing, creating bonds with their team members and maintaining these friendships has also taken a toll on our athletes this year.
I miss going out with the team and socializing too. I've been training alone a lot, and I feel like it's taken a toll.
You won't make any other connections like this in school because you see these guys struggle every day and get better, and it's a little different than seeing your friends every day because you know your friends, but you get to know these guys inside and out throughout the season, hanging out with the guys before games or after games, because we could just sit next to each other. We wouldn't have to be that far apart. We can go out to eat and stuff. We could celebrate on the bus. The bus rides would probably be the most important thing though, because that brings up the team spirit and stuff after a win.
To quickly recap, here are the sports that are expected to start up this winter season.
Our winter sports right now would be boys swimming, girls gymnastics, girls bowling, boys and girls basketball, wrestling, and competitive cheerleading and competitive dance. Now, that could change. Those are the sports that they have originally slated for a November 16th start date. But I think we all know that when the IHSA board next meets in later October, they're going to likely make a decision about which ones will actually begin in November.
We are wishing our winter athletes the best of luck in beginning their seasons during these unprecedented times. For the Eagle Update, this has been Claudia Molo, Savannah Torres, Carla Ramirez, and Michael Martinez.
For those interested in the upcoming cheerleading season,
here's information regarding tryouts from Miss Thomas.
Hello, my name is Coach Jeske. I am the head varsity cheer coach for the Leiden Cheer program. We will be having tryouts this year on Tuesday, October 13th and Thursday, October 15th from 3:30 to 6 o'clock p.m. in the West Leiden Auxiliary Gym. For more specific information about tryouts, check out the Leiden Cheer Twitter, where you could get some more in-depth information. What's really important is that you register on Leiden's 8 to 18 website. You cannot try out unless you have a valid physical on file and you are registered on 8 to 18. So that's your first step. What cheer is going to look like this year, we really don't know. It's going to be a lot different than it has been in the past, but we're ready for it. So whether or not you have experience, we really suggest that you come out and give it a try because it's going to be a very memorable year. Go Eagles!
And that's all the news we have for you today.
Make sure to be kind,
find your passion,
commit to excellence,
and have a Leiden Pride Day.